So we've been about 1 year using the Komoot app for our navigations. So what's it been like? Well, stick around because we're going to go through the good, the bad, and the ugly. Well, hello again, Internet. Welcome back to the channel. Yes, like I said, we're gonna get into the Komoot app today. You know, I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna take me a little look up here. I come through here one time on my thin-tired bike. They had no trespassing signs up here, but they took them all down when they moved that equipment out of here. But they're looking to sell this property, and if you look at this right here, yeah, it's a breeze to go through that on a fat tire bike. Thin tired bike, you got to watch that a little bit. I don't know what kind of a price they're looking for to get out of this, but it's not much property. And the whole reason that these boards are down here, these planks are down here, is because this is all wet, very wet. They're gonna have a heck of a time trying to sell property like this. Gonna have a real tough time on that. But hey, let's talk about our featured item for today. And that's gonna be our Sanctus mirrors. It's a bar end mirror that I use on the end of both of my bikes that I ride. And it's $15 for a pair of them. I have used like the motorcycle type mirrors that come up and over. And, you know, if I wanted to ride a motorcycle, I'd buy a motorcycle. I didn't like them because they loosened up quite a bit. I had considered a rear camera. Richard down in Mississippi, he uses a rear view camera, and I used one. We went out on vacation one time and rented a Dodge Charger. We flew into, I don't know, maybe it was Oregon or someplace, but we had a Dodge Charger that we had for rent, and it had a rear view camera, and I wasn't crazy about it. I'm used to a mirror, and so that's what I'm used to on a bike. And so that's what I use. That's what I use. But I got to tell you, these things are great because they're concave, so you get a better view of everything. And to me, they stay out of the way. I can roll that in a little bit if we're into real tight stuff. Roll it under if we wanted to, you know, so it's very, very maneuverable. And I just really like them. So but that's our featured product. That's going to be the first one that's listed on our Amazon affiliates, and I want y'all to know we really do appreciate you guys that are going through the Amazon affiliates. That helps out the channel, and Michelle and I really appreciate it. So what else are we going to visit about for just a little bit? You know, I think I'm going to try and ride my way up Highway 210 here and get into one of these subdivisions, see how they're doing on those. Well, we did a long ride yesterday, and a couple of little things that happened that we didn't get to get on film. But the one thing is the top of my head sunburned with my Santa helmet. You got them holes in there. I was a little bit concerned about that when we first did a review on this, but I didn't think too much of it. And let's pump that juice up a little bit on this. But sure enough, it did. And ironically enough, Gary had made a comment this morning while I was dealing with a little bit of sunburn on my head. He had made a comment that he always wears a cap under his helmet. to keep his head from burning. I guess he's got as much hair as I do, which is nothing on top. So I just kind of found that pretty ironic, and a good comment, very good observation. We're gonna, this is kind of loud through here. See what we can do to jump across here. Get over to where we need to be. All right. So, but yeah, I thought that was pretty good, ironic timing on that. What else happened on that yesterday was, and I didn't get film of it. I tried to, but it didn't work too much. But we come into a tunnel, and as my eyes were adjusting to it, I happened to notice there was a snake in front of me, and I ran it over. And yeah, this is the subdivision we're going to ride into. See what all they're building in there. And I would like to have my film go on for Bruce on that, because it was a copperhead. And boy, it was striking like wild. After that, I told Michelle, watch out for it. And I tried to go back and get some film of it, and it was striking pretty good. And then it kind of got off to the side and curled up, coiled up, and got in a defensive position, but then it didn't move. And I might have ended up killing it. I'm not sure. But what I was going to film on that is to let Bruce know I don't mess with them kind. I do not mess with the venomous ones a whole lot. So that's not to say I like that I ran it over and possibly killed it. No, I'm not crazy about that idea. But yeah, I don't mess with the venomous ones. Now, my dad, we had 2 timber rattlers when I was a kid, and we kept them in the kitchen. And now in our old house, you'd go out and you'd have to go through the kitchen to use the restroom, and you'd hear them things at night, and you wasn't never sure, are they loose or not? Who knows? Yeah, they're opened up here. I know they got some no trespassing signs, but the gate's open, so I'm gonna go take a look, see what all we got back here, what they've been building on. But anyway, we ended up moving him up the hill to the house that my grandmother lived in. It was a barn underneath. We turned it into a stable, and the top half was kind of like a storage room, and we lost power up there one time, and we thought the snakes were dead. This was in Pennsylvania. It was in the winter time. Well, these are more modest sized houses than what they've been building everywhere around here, so I like to see that. I might step inside some of these and take a look at them. It always interests me when they're building up new houses, but I think they're wanting 400,000 and up. These places start at 400,000, and there's no amenities here that I'm aware of. But anyway, we thought that snake was dead. They really went into hibernation, and Dad took one and wrapped it around his neck and down his arms, and dang, if his body heat didn't wake it up, and it bit him right on the knuckle. And of course, Mom kind of started freaking out there a little bit, like, shut up, take the picture, man. I ain't gonna do this again. So he got the picture. I have to dig that picture up. I want to see if I can find that picture. Yeah, it looks like they're coming way down into here. They went to the hospital, and they didn't have any anti-venom there. They had to get something flown in. But he says, it bit me here, and it come up to about my elbow now, and it doesn't have a whole long way to go to my heart. So, I just kind of thought that was an interesting story that I was reminded of there. Like I said, if I can get that picture, I'm gonna post that picture in picture there somewhere. I'll have to ask Mom if she still knows where a copy of that would be. But hey, let's get back into this commute here a little bit. We've been about 1 year that we've been using that, and we have worked quite a bit with it. There are some Well, I said we're going to get into the good, the bad, and the ugly, so let's get into the good. The good is it has a great navigation and the route planner on it. Some really incredible things about the route planner is you can add your own pictures and you can bookmark these things and they end up on your route planner. So when you go to, like, let's say Raleigh to plan a route, you turn on that the bookmarks are being shown and you got all these blue flags around there. And you can click on one of them flags and it'll have a picture right there. It'll tell you what it is. And it'll be a place that you've been at some point and you can look at it and say, oh yes, I do remember that. And that's not a good place to be, or that is a good place to be. So let's route through there again on a different route. And we'll take a different way through there. And yeah, they're gonna have all houses all the way down here, both sides of the road here. So that's a really dandy feature to have. It does do the navigation very well. There's no question about that. It tells you when you're off route. Matter of fact, when I first started using it, it almost kind of got on my nerves because it would tell me when I was too little off of the route, and I had the rerouting turned off. I didn't want it to reroute me and change my route any. But that can be turned on and off on the fly. So that's very good things about it right there. Now let's talk about some of the bad. Well, when I started taking pictures on it, it would close me down. And you guys that are familiar, you know, and sick of hearing about this, well, yeah, I'm sorry, but I put out some tags that I'm hoping this will go out to some other users that are using Komoot and let you know what's kind of went on with some of them. But it would stop your navigation completely and you would lose all of that. You'd have to start it back up again, change the starting point of your route, and it was just in general a bit of a pain in the butt. So that was kind of some of the bad on that. And we worked with that. I was telling my mother about this when I was talking to her, and she said, well, you've always been, you know, if there's something they say, if somebody says you can't do something, you're going to figure out a way of doing it. And you've always been that way. And I thought, you know, you're right. And that's kind of what I'm doing on this. And I did figure out ways of working around that. Matter of fact, I would even get down to where I would take pictures with my GoPro so it didn't affect the phone here at all. But yeah, so, you know, we had workarounds that we had to do on that as well. And we worked quite a lot. It looks like they're going to be heading back this way with some homes as well. Maybe the next phase, they're going to be going that direction with them. So that's kind of interesting. I think we're going to try and zip up here to the next subdivision and see what they're doing on it. They're just building and building and building here. Like I say, I think these homes here are starting it. I'm going to check on the sign down here. But there's some that are starting, they don't have the sign up anymore here. Yeah, maybe they do. Maybe they do. They say there's some open houses, new homes. Maybe it's the other one up here that starts at a much, much higher price. Yeah, I think it might be this other one here. It starts at a higher price. We're going to zip up here, and I think it might be the one that starts at 400,000s. And go ahead and roll on up here. So, yeah, these ones here are starting at $400,000. Yeah, there's no amenities at all in here, and these are relatively small homes. Wow, that's too much. That's still got to be elevated some for this area. But anyway, we worked and worked and worked to try and get that to where it would work, and we never did get it completely yet to where we could get these bookmarks all punched in there and working up. And we had plans of getting them to where we could put the bookmarks in and then, or put the highlights in and then bookmark them and then delete them so that they wouldn't be public, you know, spots and things like that, but they would be on my personal route planner. And man, we was looking forward to that. Now let's get to the ugly. Well, yesterday, while we were out on a ride through Raleigh, the Komoot app just completely froze up, completely stopped responding at all. I couldn't even end the route with it, and it was just gone. When I restarted my phone, the route wasn't even listed on there. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to kind of take a look here. I want to show you. I'm hoping you're going to have to bear with me just a little bit on here. We're going to try and reconnect this, make sure that you can actually see my phone here. That's why I'm in the shade here a little bit. There we go. Yeah, if I come in here kind of close, I'm hoping you can see this phone here. And well, if I can get this to work, get rid of my glasses here. There we go. So I'm going to pull up my Komoot here, and I'm going to go to my profile. And so this morning, as I was contemplating doing this video, 1 year with Komoot, I got a notice on my phone. Do I want to continue to navigate or end? And here is the route it comes up. Oh, 31 miles. If you actually look at this route, this is where we were at this morning that it picked us back up, or last night. The time that we spent on this, let's see if we can, yeah, the elevation just goes in a straight line because basically it just lost track. I had been recording for 22 hours and 59 minutes. The actual time, let's go back, on that route was 1 hour and 16 minutes was my time in motion, and then it pooped out on me. Total elapsed time 22 hours and 59 minutes. 23 hours later, it gives me a notice if I should continue. What was I supposed to do if I didn't know how to get around that? So here is what we are going to do here, friends. We're going to move that aside. You're going to see it here, Komoot. We're just uninstalling it. That's right, Komoot. Goodbye. I will email you guys and let you know I will not be using Komoot any longer for my navigation, as their platform is not stable enough. Well, look at this. They built another house back here. Last time I was back here, they did not have anything built. And you've seen it here first. Now, truth be told, I'll probably reinstall that and experiment with it every once in a while, because I just can't let it go. Can't let it go. Because the other good thing about it is it's paid for forever. It doesn't cost me any kind of subscription or anything. But as it stands right now, Komoot has been uninstalled. Oh, well, let's get back to this one that we're still recording on. We're still recording there, yeah. It has been uninstalled for right now, and we're back with the ride with GPS. So like I say, I know you guys that are regular, you're probably tired of seeing all of this. It appears like they are getting ready to put more homes in here. So this will be real interesting as we go down and check this out some more. But yeah, that's where we stand. I'm back on the ride with GPS, and I'm just going to stick with that for right now. So hey, that's going to wrap it up for this one. I just thought I would let you guys know what's going on with the now that we've been almost 1 year using the Komoot. A couple other things that have been going on. Like I say, I'm addressing this sunburn issue on my bald head with the helmets. Yeah, it doesn't look like they're getting ready too much on any of these others, except for this one. They've got it just about completely done. That's interesting. Maybe this is going to be a model home here or something. But I wanted to fill you guys in on that, and like I say, we're going to tag some other things here because I think there's some others, and I want people to know what my experience has been with them. You know, there is some good, there is some bad, and there is some ugly about it, and so there you got the whole spiel. So that's going to wrap it up for this one, Internet. Hey, till the next time, this Southern E-Biking telling you, stay safe, God bless, and keep the wheels turning. Once again, we are out.